Yeah, of course.
Because they are one of the most loyal fan base. That's why I love the third round of the draft, the Harrison Fellows pick.
Yep.
That is what should...
That made my heart so happy, man.
That is what should typify everything about being a Bills fan. Not tables, not all this chaos that go on.
Right.
That is what being a Bills fan's about. Rallying together, sticking together, all that stuff.
Absolutely. And the Bills had no reason to do anything for Ezra. You know what I mean? That's Pancho Billa, right?
Yeah.
He's a good dude, you know, and it was just something that the team, you know, they got. He lives around where the draft was, right? So he lives around there.
San Antonio, I think it was.
Yeah, I think so. So, I mean, San Antonio and Dallas, I mean, it's not a stone's throw. No.
Okay,
it is not. But, you know, what a story. You know, the Bills got him into the draft. Great, right? That stadium, they only had a few thousand people there. That stadium could hold thousands of people.
Mm-hmm.
But they kept it only to a few thousand. Like, each team got, I think, like 200 people they could invite.
Yeah.
It was kept really, really low capacity. They didn't stop David Akers from trolling the Cowboys.
Everybody.
Oh my God!
But you want to talk about the Bills? You know, as you talked about being locked up tight. One Bills drive being locked up so tight, they didn't let anybody know what they were going to do with Pancho.
No.
And that man, the next day, I mean,
I've still watched that video. I watched it yesterday.
Oh,
I just needed something yesterday. I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch that video again. And it made me feel good to be a Bills fan.
You saw it, the draft show that we were covering day 2. That's a good thing that pick was the last one of that round, because I don't know if I could have done any more of the show than we did after that, because I was so touched by that moment, and I watched it like 15 times the next day. Mm-hmm. And my wife's like, you okay? I'm like, I'm phenomenal right now. That was awesome.
Somebody took to Twitter and said, Pancho Billa, are you kidding me? This is why this is like the worst fan base in the NFL. And Bills fans exploded on this person. Mm-hmm. Exploded on her.
That's someone that should be put through a table.
Your words, not mine.
I'll do it. Put a GoFundMe page together. I'll go over where that lady is. That's ridiculous.
She had a book written about Spygate. I don't know whether it was 2 or 4. I only trolled her Twitter page.
Did she burn it with her right hand in the air?
For a moment. I have no idea. But the fact remains that, you know, like, if this doesn't... like, people already love Fred Jackson. The city already loves Fred Jackson. The city already loves Andre Reed. Yeah. Right? But that just speaks volumes to the type of high-character guys that they are. Mm-hmm. Right? Because they didn't have to do anything.
No.
They didn't have to do a thing. They just go up there, announce the pick, which is what a lot of people do. They go, I just gotta go read this pick. You know, I gotta go.
Or they could have just mentioned him.
Yeah.
They didn't have to say, come on up.
Oh, you got a picture with the commissioner? Like, he's up there taking pictures with Goodell? Like, good for you, Ezra.
I love Mayock, too. Did you see during the one broadcast? He's like, this is awesome, this is great.
Yeah.
And then when he finally gets up there and hugs both of them and everything, Mayock goes, let him read it. Like, they're gonna hear him.
Yeah.
Like, that was...
Yeah.
It just made me laugh there for a second. I'm like, of course he's gonna read it. And he was on with Capaccio. Ezra was on with Capaccio. Mm-hmm. And like there were people like that were tweeting him saying, you sound better than half the guys on GR. Can we get you hired there, please?
Yeah, there's obviously storied moments about the Bills franchise that you can go back and say, you know, that you're proud to be a fan of this team at this moment. And that's one that outside of Buffalo isn't going to carry a lot of weight. You know what I mean? People aren't going to remember that. You know, other people aren't going to remember. Because on day 2 of the draft, who's watching that? You know, like, it's just... Mm-hmm. But your Bills fans, they know about that, right? And imagine the response Pancho Billa is going to get at his first game up north this year.
Oh, my God.
It's going to be It's going to be crazy.
I'll tell you this, though. If there is a franchise, like, let's say that I have no attachment, like the LA Chargers. I have no attachment to LA Chargers ever. If that would have been where they were talking about a guy coming up, battling cancer, hey, come on up here. And it was like Kellen Winslow and Dan Fouts, like call him up on the stage to do that. I would have been like, wow, that is freaking cool.
Yeah.
And I would have looked at more into the situation, what's going on, and been like, that is awesome. That is absolutely cool. Like the Chargers would have went up a bunch of rungs in my book, and I think the Bills have in a lot of people's eyes.
I hope so. You know, and you know, you look at there's a recent example. This Carson Wentz. Right?
Oh,
wore that bracelet all season.
Yes.
And it was just a little thing nobody noticed, right?
No.
Until they did. It wasn't a very long segment. It was like a 10-minute segment on ESPN about it. And boy, man, that just it hits you right in the feels. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I watched it and I went to my wife. And my wife and I, we don't really talk sports that much. Right? She was an athlete growing up, but we don't really talk sports that much. And I went to her and I showed her the video, and she's like, "That's amazing." She's like, "That's somebody that, like, that's a role model." Like, yeah, that's exactly right. And that makes you follow teams, right? Something like that is what binds you to a team. I was thrilled when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Do you know why? Because of that.
Yes.
I wouldn't have cared who won the Super Bowl, to be honest with you. Just as long as it wasn't the Patriots. Just as long as it wasn't the Patriots, I didn't care who won the Super Bowl. You sound like that meme that's like, I have two favorite teams in the NFL, the Bills and whoever plays the Patriots. That's absolutely right. And I'm not ashamed of that stance, right? I'm not ashamed in any way of that stance. That's what makes sports what they are. Like, you're supposed to hate some teams. You're not supposed to like every team. Right. But the thing is, we tend to take, because we're so far distant, detached from the team and the players and stuff, we try to take an objective approach to everything, and sometimes that will skew sometimes. Because with the draft and everything, when Wentz was taken, we did our due diligence. We analyzed the situation, like, I don't know if this will work. Without ever actually talking to him. Yeah. So we just tried to break down all the information that we were given. And then all of a sudden, something like that creeps up on you, and you're like, man, I'm a fan of Wentz now. I like Wentz. Absolutely. I wasn't a fan before, but I'm a fan now. Well, that's one thing that I always worry about once you start talking to players, is you're going to start liking the players. And then if you start, personally liking the players, you start accepting things about their performance on the field. And that's one thing that I'm proud to keep a distance from. Oh, yeah. I don't want to ever get into a position where I am personally impacted by the way that they're performing on the field, directly. I don't. We happen to know people that do get personally impacted by how they perform. Yeah. And, while we're on the topic of Pancho, thank you, Del Reed at 26 Shirts again. Yes. For pulling out another great shirt with his Pancho Power shirt. That's just such a great organization. And they're in different markets. They're in Pittsburgh. Are they in Chicago? Del put up a tweet the other day that he was looking for more graphic artists to do those markets, right? And and as well as they should. They should be in those types of markets, because those types of markets are going to do well for 26 Shirts, do good in their community. Like, what? Yeah. What a great job they're doing over there. What a phenomenal job. A lot of good things going on in Buffalo. I still want my T-shirt of a shirtless A.J. McCarron power bombing a Bengal through a folding table. That's just because he's got that awful chest tattoo. Still want that T-shirt. But yeah, man. From the hashtag crew, Pancho. Yeah. Good for you, brother.